Anxiety often finds its way into our bodies because we are fearing something out there in the future, or because we are dwelling on something in the past. But if we can get in a state of presence, being right here, right now, in this moment, and now in this moment, and now in this moment, it will help reduce the anxiety that's unnecessarily floating around somewhere out there. And that's what I'm gonna talk about today, being present. 9 months ago, my dad was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. And I have never been through something like that before in my life. I've heard of people being sick or being diagnosed or dying, but they're kind of out there somewhere. And so for it to hit the circle of my life, you have like your immediate family, my husband, my kids, all of that. And then you've got like our parents and my brothers and his brother and, all of those people. So for it to hit that second ring layer of people was quite a shock to me. And it's something that my nervous system has never experienced before. So one of the things that I want to talk about today with being present, I wanted to use the example of my dad's cancer diagnosis, because being present in something that is life-altering is, first of all, really fucking hard. And I'm not saying I did the best at it, and definitely didn't do the best at it at first, because when we got the cancer diagnosis, the biggest thing that happened is you go way out there to he's dead. The man is clearly still living. When we found out the diagnosis and in this moment, thank you, Lord. But he's clearly still living. But as soon as we got the diagnosis, my first thought was, he's dead. He's dead. So my mind starts seeing these flashes of his funeral and his eulogy and my mom and what's going to happen, and then way out there. And my body was overcome with anxiety. So much anxiety. And obviously, I'm not saying that your body can't be overcome with anxiety. When you have news like that come through, it probably should be overcome with anxiety. It's awful. But because his thing was really fast, so it was like diagnosis, he had a blockage in his colon, he was like bleeding really badly, low blood count, all this crazy stuff. Anyway, so he had to get into surgery really fast. Within like a couple of weeks, he was in surgery. He had to get a colostomy bag, which was unexpected and crazy and just blah. And then he had to start chemo basically right after that. And I just remember those first few weeks, couple of months, so much anxiety. And the anxiety was coming from the fact that I was projecting outward what was going to happen to prepare. We do that to prepare ourselves. We're trying to prepare ourselves from being hurt, from being caught off guard. It's all just a protective mechanism to help us survive. But as you realize this is not like a start and stop situation, it's not just happening 1 second and then it's gone in another day. With a cancer diagnosis similar to his situation, it's drawn out. So every day is, what's today gonna look like? What's today gonna look like? And I remember that his surgeon said to him the next day after his surgery, he came in and talked to him because there were a lot of surprises that were found, that he didn't just have the tumor, like a 5-inch tumor. It was actually, cancer had spread into his abdomen area, in his rectum. It was stage 4. And the doctor told him, you can fight this. You got to keep your head in the game. And he told him, I always look at if today is good, then tomorrow will be good. And I don't know why that just really stood out to me, because there's actually been days where the days have not been good, but I still felt like tomorrow would be good. Is that when it was something about the way he shared that with him, and he'd been doing these surgeries for 18 years, and just told him, keep your head in the game, and if today is good, tomorrow will be good, and today is good. And so he basically told us, you just have to take it day by day. Here we are 9 months later. It has been a roller coaster of surprises, and the chemo is working, and he's having an allergic reaction to chemo, and then it's not working, and then it's working again. But for the most part, he's done really well because my dad is very present. His thing was, I want to get back to work. And so I will do whatever I got to do today to be able to get back to work. So he had his eyes set on a vision of something in the future that made him happy and hopeful and something he could reach for and strive for. But he didn't panic in the fact that, am I even going to make it to tomorrow? He didn't vocalize that. I don't know really what his thoughts were around it, but he doesn't seem to be a type of person that's really out there panicking. So all of that to say, I wanted to give that little bit of context to say, here we are 9 months later. My dad actually is starting a new treatment plan today. He's not had chemo in probably almost 6 weeks because of issues with the treatment. And I take him day by day. What I've learned and what I've been able to self-regulate with my mind and my nervous system is that when hiccups happen on this journey, the chemo journey, which is just life in general, he just has a diagnosis. All of us are headed towards the end, except my dad has a diagnosis and they've given him a timeline. But we don't tend to think of our own lives in the sense of a timeline, even though we all know we're going to that same place. We're all going to have that ultimate ending in our lives. We just really hope and believe it's going to be way out there somewhere. I had to cut because my printer went off and it scared the crap out of me. Anyway, we hope that that is way out there somewhere. We don't want it to be today, obviously. But my point here is that when we go out there, if you have a lot of anxiety, right now, if you have a lot of anxiety, where is that coming from? If you're sitting there feeling it and you're like, where is this coming from? What am I actually concerned about? What are you thinking about? And most likely it's something out there that you're thinking about, or that you're projecting, or that you're believing, or you're seeing in your head. And when you do that, that does nothing for nobody. Now, there may be a time where, like I could get a call right now and something bad has happened. I'm going to feel anxiety in my body right away because my nervous system is processing that bad news. So that's something different. I think being able to ask yourself, am I in the future right now, or am I actually in the present moment? Here's something that a friend of mine did with me a few years ago, because I was the worst at being present. I did not know how to be present. I was always somewhere out there in the future, always striving for something, or always thinking about something, always worrying about something. And I remember this, he was actually, I call him my friend, but he was a PhD psychologist. He was my boss. And I worked with him in the addiction treatment field, and we worked really closely together, but I totally extracted therapy out of him because I didn't know how desperately I needed someone to walk me through my mind. And so just in our working relationship, he would help me every day by my request. And one day he told me this story of this challenge that you could do where you take a raisin and you put the raisin on your tongue and you just sit there with the raisin on your tongue and you try to not chew the raisin. You just sit there and you focus on, what does the raisin feel like? How does that feel on my tongue? What does it do if I put it on my teeth? Ooh, I really want to bite this right now, but don't bite it. And then just thinking through all the details of this raisin, because in the here and now, the raisin is in my mouth. I think I made it like maybe 15, 20 seconds and before I chewed the first raisin up. So I would sit there at work, I worked in human resources, and I would sit there and I would just put the raisin in my mouth while I was doing work and try to focus on the raisin in my mouth. And the next thing you know, I'd be chewing it again. But it really got my mind to slow down and become present. So that's a little tip that you could use. You could get a little box of raisins. I don't even like raisins, but it's a really great tool. Get a little box of raisins, put one in your mouth, and just sit quietly and try to extract the details of that raisin. What does this feel like? How is this making me feel? Because a lot of times, like even with me, what happened is you get anxious because you want to chew it. And when you realize that you're not supposed to chew it right now, you're just supposed to engage with it and be present with it. The anxiety was through the roof because I am agitated because I want to chew it. And it brought this awareness to the fact that I am always trying to jump ahead and move towards something else. And not necessarily that that's good or bad or anything, it just is. But being able to pull ourselves back into the present moment, we will start to have so much more solitude in our minds and our bodies and our spirits because we're not living our lives out there. We're living it right here. So I'm not saying that dealing with anybody's cancer diagnosis is easy. I'm not saying that your own health challenges are easy. That's definitely not easy at all. But just practicing awareness and acceptance in the moment, in the moment, in the moment. I had a friend message me this morning. His mother had been fighting a cancer battle for quite some time, and this morning she passed away in her sleep. And obviously you never know what to say to that. Like, there really are no words, truly. And I'm pulling up the message right here because he and I were texting back and forth. And here's what I said to him after I gave him a little bit of just what I just deeply felt on my heart to say to him, not to fix it or to make him feel better, but just to let him know I'm here and I'm holding space for you. But he responded, "I love you." And I said, "I love you one breath at a time. Keep breathing. Lean in." Because sometimes in those moments, and he lost his mother. Just breathe. Just keep breathing. Just keep breathing. I go back to 2011 when I struggled with anxiety, debilitating anxiety, not just out there anxiety. Anxiety filled my body and my mind all day long, every day. Panic attacks, intrusive thoughts, suicidal ideations. It was crazy. But I remember just thinking, just breathe, and then breathe again, and then breathe again, to find that center of, if I just keep breathing, I'll keep living. If I just keep breathing, I'll keep living. And it's kind of the one step in front of the other. Take one step at a time. Eat the elephant one bite at a time. Sometimes all you can do is breathe. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, and just get through the breath all day long. And maybe that's a victory. Maybe that's the victory for you today. So I don't want to make this too extremely long, but I just wanted to hit briefly on being present today. I wanted to help, I don't know, maybe bring some awareness to yourself, to where you are. Where are you right now? Are you actually focused on this video? Are you actually listening? Are you thinking about something else? Are you going somewhere else in your mind? And in order to bring ourselves back to the here and now, we've got to start questioning, not like beating ourselves up, but questioning, wonder why I'm way out there right now. I wonder why my mind's going out there, and what can I do out there when I could actually do something right here and right now? And whether that's just breathe right here, right now, or cry right here, right now, or be fucking pissed off that this is happening right here, right now. And then let yourself feel all of that. Expose yourself to all of that. It's real. There's no need to try to be strong. There's no need to try to pull yourself together. Just let yourself be in the moment, and then you'll step into your next moment. And then you'll step into your next moment. So if we can conquer this moment right here, if this moment is good, the next one will be good. And good is not always, yippee, good. Good is sometimes just leaning in, just feeling it, just crying it out, just being pissed. And that will bring us into the here and now. You will watch excessive anxiety fade away, and you'll be able to deal with just this moment. If there's anxiety in this moment, if your head is in this moment, you may still feel that in your nervous system, but you won't have this excessive worry and fear that's way out there that we haven't even gotten to yet. So let's not inflict that pain into our lives when we can center our minds back right here. And that's not something that I'm just giving you 5 tips, tricks today, and you're going to be able to conquer that like that. I hope you can. That'd be amazing. This has been years for me. I would say once I did that raisin trick, let's see, 15, 16, oh wait, sorry, time out. I'm counting the years, 15, 16, 17, 3 years. It was 3 years because it was 2018 when I really was like, I'm just here, and I'm not striving, and I'm not crazy, fearful, anxious driven anymore. Even when heavy things like a cancer diagnosis is sitting right in front of you. So again, not saying that it's easy and that you should just be able to move through it and no problems at all. It inflicts a lot of pain, and there are beautiful days and there are horrible days. But being able to roll with the moment and have that radical acceptance in the moment, and be able to center myself in the moment and not worry about everything that's out there. And then becoming aware when you do drift out there. That's fine if you drift out there, but just kindly bringing yourself back to right here, right now. A lot of journaling, a lot of talking, a lot of processing. It's a journey, my friends. And I just wanted to leave you with that today. Centering yourself around being present, focused in the moment, and see how that goes for you. I'd love to hear if you try this, or if you've done this and you do this all the time. Please leave that in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. And if you would like to, please subscribe to the channel. I'd love to continue to build community here. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, because it helps get this video out to others who need this kind of information, and it helps us build our community here. Us that are leaning in warriors is what we are. We are leaning into the exposure of all the things of discomfort and beauty and everything. So I'll leave you with that, and I will see you all. It's Friday, so I'll see you all next week. Have a great weekend. Bye.